Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Molnar here. How is everybody getting along? Well, hope everybody had a good weekend. We're getting into the week here, and we're taking a look at the upper level 500 millibar flow. Yep, this is exactly what we're going to be looking at here. It's stormy out west, and then we get these systems here across the central plains. You know the drill. We're going to be ejecting these systems here from the central and southern plains up here to the Great Lakes. Now, the big question is, what happens around February 23rd? Everybody's wondering what is going to happen with that. So as we get towards Thursday the 16th, you can see it's going to push some very warm air into Friday the 17th up here into the northeast. There it goes, blasting away. A little bit of a cold shot behind it, but you know what? We get set up with a little bit of a zonal flow, and then look at next week. This is the European model. Take a look at this. So yeah, out west, continued storminess. But back east here, the European model is showing, the systems coming out of the plains again. Let's take a look, see if we continue towards that 23rd time date here. Yeah, I don't know, the European model really isn't hinting at anything really in particular other than a system that's going to head up right across, you guessed it, GFS is a little bit different here. Let's take a look. All right, so as we take a look at the GFS throughout the week, there it is, that system moving across the east with all that warm air. But here we go. Yeah, next week, there's Wednesday into Thursday, and there it is. Yeah, the GFS is quite a bit different here. It is the outlier. It's showing a system here just off the east coast, and that would bring, heavy snow inland and along the coastline as well. So let's take a look and see who's going to be right here. All right, so starting off here, let's take a look at the GFS. Let's see what's going on here. So yeah, we have that system Tuesday into Wednesday. Yeah, it's going to be pushing quite a bit in the way of rainfall here across the north. You can see we'll have some thunderstorms here across parts of the south Tuesday, and then Wednesday, most of the system moves up here across the Great Lakes, and kind of the northeast is kind of a void of any moisture at that point. The system kind of takes all its energy up here into Quebec and Ontario. And here's our next system rounding the bend here, the Colorado low area. Take a look at this. So yeah, that meets up with some moisture here, some Gulf moisture, and there it is. So, the European and the GFS are pretty well in agreement with this. You see Thursday, yeah, Chicago, you're teetering right on the edge, but you probably stay mostly rain into Detroit as well. Syracuse, New York. Yeah, this looks like a big old rain event. And then look at this, Thursday and Friday. So, yeah, the GFS is really quick with moving this through. Look at this, 1 a.m. There's some showers, and some of these all the way up into the northeast. We could have some convection, so we could have some thunder boomers up here. Yeah, this far north here into February. That's interesting. We get maybe some shots of scattered snow showers behind it, but we get into next Monday. There's another rainy system there in the northeast. Maybe some severe weather here across parts of the south. That looks like a good bet. Another very carbon copy system what we're dealing with this week. Look at this. Chicago, you might be teetering more on the edge of snow. Starting out on the GFS is snow across Pennsylvania, and look at that. As we head into Wednesday, yeah, the GFS has been trending a little colder on these systems. We'll have to see if this really holds true. The Euro, of course, is much more pessimistic. Now, this GFS solution really draws out, the first low and a second low down here into the southeast. And as you take a look here, yeah, that could be, if the GFS verifies, which I'm not buying it at this point, it would produce accumulating snows here across the coastal sections of the Northeast. We'll just have to wait and see, if the GFS changes comes more in line with the Euro or the other models. So let's get into it here. All right, so let's take a look at the European model here. We'll take a look at the Euro run. So there it is across the Southeast. You have that initial shot. Let me just back that up just a few frames here so you can see. There it is on Tuesday, really early. What happened here? There we go. Okay, there it is. So early Tuesday morning, you can see there's the line of thunderstorms here across northeast Texas. You can see as we go out in time here, it is going to be quite some strong to severe thunderstorms heading into Arkansas here, but it's not going to be like this massive widespread event. That's going to be the good news because the energy does lift to the northern plains here. You see that high pressure there across the eastern part of the country. That's going to help weaken the system as it has no way to go but north. So it's going to take all its energy, 987 millibars. That's pretty big. but all the energy is going to come up here into Canada. So as we head off with our next system onto Thursday, this is where we're going to start to have the problems here. This is, late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. This area, damaging wind, large hail, isolated tornadoes. And then you're going to start getting snow here much further south here on the backside of the system. Take a look at that. So that pinwheel's to the northeast here. And we're actually going to bring some convection up here Thursday, late Thursday into Friday into parts of Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York State. So, yeah, Cleveland up to Buffalo, Pittsburgh. You could be seeing some thunderstorms late Thursday night, early Friday morning. That front is going to push through there. Take a look at that 991 millibar right over the St. Lawrence Valley. That pulls to the northeast here, and you can see those isobars really coming together. So these winds are going to be howling out of the northwest here across the northeast for your later Friday. As that front blasts through, it gets a little bit seasonably cool, but it's not anything to write home about here. And look at that high pressure there building across the eastern part of the country. Now let's head into next week. There's Tuesday, Wednesday. Here is that European track of this low here right across the mid-Mississippi River Valley. You see it spreading all that rain here to the north across Ohio and Pennsylvania. Snow on the back edge here towards Chicago. The Euro has come a bit further south. I do have to note that. That is an interesting thing here. This is Wednesday, the 22nd, so it's still a day before our initial. But the Euro does slide it more as an open wave towards the northeast here. And then we have that secondary low here across the Appalachians, but it just, I don't know, on the European model here, it just looks a little too warm. You can see, then we have another low pressure down here. So a complex situation, we'll continue to watch it here. I am kind of leaning more towards the Euro, however. All right, so let's take a look at the upper air anomalies here for North America. We'll take the European model here. So yeah, as we head through Wednesday, Thursday, look at this week. There's that firecracker ridge. Highs in the 50s and 60s all the way up into the northeast. It's going to be crazy warm. Feeling like spring. Things are going to be confused. Animals are going to be confused. Plants are going to be confused. There's that system. It moves through Friday night, Saturday. But yeah, look what builds in right behind it. More warming trend. But look what's coming down the pike here into northern part of North America, into the west. What is this? Well, this is our slight little pattern anomaly here. And look how it just kind of congeals out west here. The Intermountain West gets more snow. And we just consolidate the ridge here across the east. So this is why I'm really not, buying the total GFS solution here, because we're really seeing this stubborn ridge here across the eastern part of the country and North America for that matter. So let's see, how does the GFS handle this anomaly, this big old ridge? So there's that weekend system, the 18th, and there it is, blasting Furnace Ridge behind it. GFS is kind of, I'm a little puzzled by this. It is bringing that potential. There it is, that potential East Coast system Thursday, the 23rd into Friday the 24th, and then lifting out. But look how quickly that ridge blasts behind it. So I'm a little skeptical of this. You can see why I'm a little skeptical of this, because it's very difficult to have, a strong system like this sandwiched between two ridges like this. I'm not, and then look at that. Look what comes in behind it Sunday the 26th. I'm not completely on board with this. All right, so let's take a look at the CFS model here. Let's see the trend going into that part of February. So yeah, this is interesting. The CFS is kind of indicating that this big old ridge is going to hold tight. And yeah, we have these big series of troughs here and upper level lows. CFS never really breaks down that ridge there across the east. So yeah, the GFS continues to be the outlier on this. Look at that mega furnace ridge heading into first week of March. Yeah, and then until March 9th, you start to get maybe a pattern breakdown here. But then you get these massive ridges that develop. So yeah, March is one of those months where you get it's high risk, high reward type thing here. You get some of these systems that go mega blasting on us. All right, so let's take a look at our future radar here. Basically, it is with the HRRR here. Let's see what we got going on. Well, it's the west that starts off active here, and we start to get some thunderstorms here into parts of the southern plains here to Tuesday. So some of these could pack a punch, especially around if you get into just northeast Texas, eastern Kansas, eastern Oklahoma, western parts of Arkansas. Definitely want to keep an eye on this. let's actually switch over to the... So as we take a look at the convective part of this future radar, you can see there's going to be quite a line of convection Tuesday. Look how that just pushes to the east here. You have the classic comma shaped. So yeah, there is definitely going to be some severe weather in this section. This is Tuesday morning, so 9 a.m. Definitely want to keep an eye on this. This squall line is going to continue across the east. We could have some individual cells out ahead of this line too. You can see, yeah, this is going to get pretty frisky here. The winds and hail around Little Rock, Arkansas come 1 p.m. Tuesday. And as this continues to spread eastward here, thankfully we start to lose, at least Tuesday evening, some energy down south here. A lot of the energy gets pulled way up into this low pressure system. But watch what starts to happen, as that system pulls to the northeast here. Very little fanfare here in the parts of the northeast, maybe some scattered showers. But look at this. Yeah, this next system, let's see if it'll actually go out this far. I don't believe it will. No, it won't. So let's switch over to the NAM 3 kilometer here. All right, let's take a look here. And we will go out. Should get us out close to that 50 to 60 hour mark. It's not the best, but let's see here. So yeah, it's getting on into the day as we head on into, it's right around that Wednesday, Thursday time frame. We're going to start to see some big thunderstorms here start to explode here. So yeah, it's going to be this area here as we head into late Wednesday and Thursday. Definitely going to keep an eye on this. And up here in the northern plains, take a look at Tuesday evening here. This is where we start to get most of the snow. You can see it right on the backside here towards Fargo, Sioux Falls, and up to eventually Duluth. So yeah, the northeast dragging some real warm air in. And there's the next system here across Colorado. You're going to start to get into some heavy snow. That's going to drift down into western Kansas, just shy of the panhandle of Texas here. This is right around Wednesday at 1 p.m. So taking a look at the southeast part of the United States, this is basically Wednesday heading on into Thursday. This is the area we're going to watch for some severe thunderstorms. So damaging with large hail, we could have some tornadoes in this area as well. All right, so as we get into the European quantitative precipitation amounts here, so this is just through Thursday. It's mostly across the southeast here, and then we get some snow up here in the northern plains. Some of this will be rain and snow mix, but look at that. Across the east, you're bone dry. We get towards Thursday night into Friday. We do try to, there it is. Many of you have talked to me about this rain shadow in the northeast. There it is again. We can't get into heavy rain or anything. Let alone heavy snow. But yeah, most of the precipitation is going to be across the Tennessee Valley here into the lower mid-Mississippi River Valley there. Take a look at that. And then we get that next system for next week. Yeah, whatever way you want to put it, the rich get richer or whatever. Yeah, we're just going to pile on precipitation on top of that into this 4-inch plus in some of these areas. All right, so let's see who's going to get snowfall here. Initially, through Thursday, we get this first shot here into Minnesota, probably advisory low-end warning criteria. There it is across the northeast, pretty much nothing. Look at the four corners out here, though. From Arizona, Colorado, southern Utah, northwestern part of New Mexico here. Yeah, it's looking interesting. And look at this out here in Oregon and Washington State. Yeah, that's some heavy snow for you as well. So that is pretty interesting here. We're going to get some heavy snow. Snow levels lowering out here as well. So the Cascades really getting hammered. And look at that. There's that next system late week just north of Chicago. Probably high-end advisory, low-end warning criteria, 3 to 7 inches likely. And then as we go into next week, it's interesting. The European model has come a little bit further to the south on that heavy snow here. So just a little curious here. For entertainment purposes only. There's the GFS this week. So the GFS is a little... Ooh, let's stop right there. Yeah. So there it is. There's the Colorado area all the way up into the northern plains here just north of Chicago. This is through the weekend. Yeah, there's probably going to be some low-end warning criteria snows here across the parts of the plains and Midwest. That'll be an interesting, situation to watch. And then as we go into next week, here's what the GFS does. Yeah, so there it is. GFS is hammering parts of New York and Pennsylvania, New York City area, maybe Boston area. It's really complicated here, but we'll continue to watch it here. I'm not completely buying this solution. All right, here we go for the Atlantic. things continue to look quiet for all my Caribbean, Central American friends, Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, this time of year, enjoy it because it won't last. Tropical season will be here before we know it. Now, if we take a look at the Western Pacific here, let's back up here. Take a look at this. So we have the intertropical convergence zone really starting to kick up here across the central and the southern Philippines. Most other areas are quiet. It's the Philippines that are really going to be getting, here it is a Tuesday into Wednesday. Yeah, there's showers finally starting to lighten up by later in the week here, you can see. But then we get towards Friday. Let's just back this up a few frames here. See this? This is Thursday into Friday. Thursday into Friday. Take a look at that. There is a big tropical wave potential here with quite a bit in the way of rainfall. So we're going to continue to watch this as we go out here in time. But look at that. It skims by just to the northeast as it kind of gets caught up in the westerlies. That is some great news that usually happens this time of year. You still will get some rainfall into the weekend and early next week, but that will mainly be off to your east. But look at this. It tries to make a comeback for next week. Take a look at this. If you're in much of the Philippines here, central and southern Philippines, and then eventually the northern Philippines by next Thursday, February 23rd, yeah, you're in the thick of it here. So your rainy season is really picking up here. Sunday the 26th, though, look at that. It's kind of drying out a little bit across the southern and central Philippines. So it looks like as we get towards the end of February here, it looks like things will get a little bit quiet here around the Philippines. All right, so let's take a look at temperatures here. Rough sketch here on the European model as we go throughout the week. So this kind of signifies, with the 500 millibar charts I was showing you. Let's just go backwards here. Look at this. This is your highs for Wednesday. We're getting up into the 60s in Buffalo, New York, 70s across the southeast. Firecracker here across South Florida. That's going all the way up the East Coast here. Now, you got this big old area of congealed cold behind it. Does that ever make it to the east here? Well, it does try to make it a little bit. There's Thursday. There's your highs Thursday. Look at that. We're surging up to 60 here in Indianapolis, parts of Ohio. Let's see what happens here as we head into Friday. So your morning lows are going to be in the 50s and 60s across the Northeast. Look at how things just crash throughout the day. Friday night into Saturday. Yeah, it gets a little brutal here. But you know what? We've seen this time and time again. This is nothing to write home about here. Look how quickly things rebound into Sunday here. Watch this. There's your... Oh, let's go backward. There it is. So we're all the way back up into the 40s across the Northeast by Sunday afternoon here. And look at this. As we head towards Monday... Yeah, we just continue to warm things. It's just going to continue to be like a furnace ridge here across the east. As you can see, we do get towards, there's our lows. So we're getting some colder lows here. Can't go much beyond this. So, if we do get some moisture that meets up with some of this, we could get warm, but we could get some snow, I should say. But I don't know. I just have all this warm air on my mind here, and just to think that this could sabotage, our chances of snow here across the East Coast. An extended outlook from our hometown viewers, Binghamton to Scranton, Upper Susquehanna, River Valley. Take a look at this. Yeah, this is warm. We started off here near 50, and look at this. We just pushed it up into the 60s Wednesday and to Thursday, and Thursday night into Friday. It does come crashing down a bit. Temperatures will be falling throughout the day on Friday. We'll get some showers moving in Thursday and Thursday night, and then showers will be ending early Friday morning, but those winds will be howling as well behind the front. Look at this. Saturday, we recovered to 41, and Sunday, we're already up by 50 again. Thanks for joining me for this edition of Media Mark's Weather Northeastern and Weather Eastern. Don't forget Facebook Media Mark, Weather Northeastern, also Hurricane Northeastern, at Susquehanna Weather for my local page, and guess what? MediaMark.com, WeatherNortheastern.com is Twitter, at Weather Eastern. Don't forget, question or comment down below, smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell button, share the video, and thanks for joining me.